Hi everyone, my name's Callie and this is Prenatal Yoga for the York County Libraries in South Carolina. Today's practice is going to be a gentle restorative practice, great for the third trimester. That's where I am. And it's also great for you if maybe you're experiencing some pain during this pregnancy, or if you're in a phase feeling very fatigued, this practice should be great for you. So grab a pillow. I've got one that doubles up here, so a bolster or maybe like two big pillows and a block if you have one. If you don't have a block, just grab like a little throw pillow. That'll be good enough. And roll out your mat and let's get started. Let's begin by lying on your back on the floor. So take your pillow or bolster and set it up right at your low back. And then lay down on it so that you're elevated, so that you're not flat on your back. Have your knees bent with your feet flat on the floor. And maybe if you need a little something more for your head, an extra pillow, or taking that block and putting it right behind your head, making it a little bit more comfortable. Just let your arms be down at your sides. And we're just going to start with a pelvic tilt. So it's not much lifting the tailbone as it is pressing the low back down into the floor, the pillow, whatever it's hitting. So take a big inhale, let your belly expand. And as you exhale, push your low back into the ground. And then you also pull your belly in tight on those exhales. So inhale, belly expands, release the pelvic tilt. Exhale, push your back into the ground. Pull in your stomach tight. Inhale, expand. Exhale, push your low back down, tighten up the core. Keep moving like that. With every exhale, just feel your stomach coming in tight, gaining a little strength. Maybe you can feel those obliques start to tighten up. And then we're going to add a little something to it. So on your next exhale, you're going to take that pelvic tilt and then slide your left heel out on the mat and pull it back in. The inhale releases your belly. Exhale, pelvic tilt as you slide your heel out and draw it back in. Inhale to release. Exhale, sliding the heel. Not forgetting the pelvic tilt. That part's important. And just alternate legs. Always remembering which side you started on so you can end the correct side. Do this for about 30 more seconds. This is just really gentle core work to start. It's not really the time in our exercise lives to worry about our core, obviously, but it is a great stretching exercise so that you can reduce pain in your low back and hips. And just to keep those muscles engaged, because they're the muscles that are carrying the extra weight. Okay, this will be my last one here. And then our feet are still planted on the ground, knees pointed up. And we're coming back to that pelvic tilt. And this time the exhales, lifting one foot up and the knee comes hover over the hip. And then you set your foot back down. And we're going to alternate again. So as you exhale, take that pelvic tilt, lift one leg up, and then set it back down. So try to keep a 90-degree bend in your knee. The shin will come up parallel to the ground. It's a small movement, but again, we're trying to target those obliques, those deep core muscles. No need to go fast or try to get lots in. Just trying to stay in control of your own body right now. We'll just do one more time each side. And then just changing it up again. So as you can see, we're just like focused on that pelvic tilt, the engagement of the core, and the movement in the legs is adding a little bit of an extra challenge, not too much. So now we're going to take an inhale as you allow one knee to just fall open to the side. Exhale, draw your core in tight and knee back up. Inhale, the other knee kind of tips off to the side. Exhale, draw your core in, lift the knee back up. Good. Moving like that. Exhale as the pelvic tilts as you draw your neck up. Inhale allows the belly to expand as your knee comes. Still slow and in control as you let that knee come down. Exhale, pelvic, draw the knee back up. Yeah. And making sure you're ending on the correct side for you so that you're even. And then we're going to roll to the side. And so to do that, you're going to do a bridge. So you're going to press into the feet, lift your hips up, take your hips over toward the right. Try to set your left hip down all the way on the side, keeping your knee together or close together. And then the right hand comes up on top, press it into the, we're just coming to your side here. Take your left arm out behind you. I got to scoot back to get on my pillow a little bit better. Take that left knee in a goalpost arm or half a cactus arm, and your left cheek comes to the mat. So you're just kind of like curled up on your side, and maybe you want to take your back and put it in between your knees. And settling down, it should be a good stretch on your left shoulder, like the front of that shoulder. And all you have to do is breathe. We're just going to hang out here for about 30 minutes. And then start to press into the right end so you can rise up, take that left arm back in front of you. We're going to come back all the way to the other side. And if you are having any type of pain, this is the way we want to roll over. So you want to come back, all your knees pointing straight up. Lift your hips up in that bridge pose. Set yourself down right in center. And then prepare yourself to roll to the next side. So instead of just rolling over, you come up bridge pose. Take the hips over to the left. Set your right hip as you bring both knees over to the right. Good. Really super careful. And then you take that top arm down so that you can prepare for the stretch, the shoulder stretch on the other side. So take that right arm out behind you in that goalpost arm. Settle your head back down. Keep that block or a pillow in between your legs if that feels nice. And just about 30 seconds here. And now the left hand down to the floor, pressing into the floor so that you can bring your right arm. We're coming to sitting up. So go ahead and just walk your hands towards your legs so you can come to sitting up. Now we're going to come to a seated position, Baddha Konasana, which is sitting down with your soles of your feet together. Sit up on my pillow. You can sit on a block or a pillow, and you don't even have to do that. Now let your feet be pretty far in your body, at least a foot away. Nice and lengthened here, lots of space. And if you are in your third trimester like me, then you need that space. So just gently resting your hands on your ankles and just kind of teeter hips back and forth. Close your eyes, it's good. Just kind of starting to notice some space. Starting to notice the low back. Yeah, and let's make this back and forth more like a circle. So coming just a little bit and rolling back. And for me, this is just like a small movement, but if you want to make it bigger, if that feels good, just make it bigger. Always in tune with your body and gently noticing if anything is causing you pain. This last trimester for me had a season of restraint, where my practice was really strong before I was pregnant. It's now become a place I have to remind myself to honor my body and the things that are hurting me, just because I was able to in a previous season. And take these circles the other direction now. These circles are great to do anytime. You can do them from a chair. If you have one of those big exercise balls, you can sit on a ball and do circles. When I was waiting for the baby to turn head down, I just started sitting on the ball and doing circles a lot. And I don't know if that helped or not, but in my head, I think it did. Any just little movements just to encourage the baby to be comfortable, to be in the position it should be in. And then try to come to sitting up tall. And take your right hand off to the side, just right beside you. Lift the left arm up. Try to get tall through your side body. Take a big inhale and exhale as you lean to the right, reaching up and over with the right arm. Big deep breaths right here, creating space in the left side body. And then come back through center, left hand down, right arm up, reaching up tall, a big inhale, and exhale as you lean to the left. Breathing into the right side body. You can close your eyes if that feels okay. And then coming back to center, both hands down at your sides. Take your hands a little bit behind your hips, so you have to lean back just a little bit into them. And I've got my fingertips pointing towards my feet. And then plant your feet on the ground, knees pointed up. Draw your elbows together behind you. Maybe you can feel as shoulder blades come together behind you. And then lift the hips up for a reverse tabletop. So you press into the hands, press into the feet, lift the hips up. Gaze stays down at your belly, and then you can lower your hips down. Yeah, lower your hips back down where they were. Extend your legs straight out, but keep the feet apart, maybe 1 or 2 feet apart, depending on the size of your belly. And then keeping a nice straight spine, just hinge forward at the hips for a prenatal staff pose or forward fold, seated forward fold. Good, and sitting up tall again, lean back behind you, plant those hands down. We're going to do that just a few times. So walk the feet back in so your knees are bent, and then lift your hips up. Squeeze your booty. Try to get your booty at knee height. Gaze is down at your belly. 3 big breaths. Inhales, fill up the belly. Exhales, deflate it. Pull the core in tight. Inhale to fill up. Exhale, deflate. One more time. And on this exhale, setting your hips back down. Extend the legs straight out. Squeezing the legs, flexing the feet back toward you. Sit up nice and tall. If you can't fold at all, just stay right here in staff, relaxing your shoulders down the back. But if you can hinge forward at the hips a bit, just do that. And sitting up tall, let's just do that one more time. So hands behind you, fingertips facing forward if that's okay for your wrists. If not, your fingers can face a different direction. And as you're ready, lifting up, reverse tabletop, 3 breaths. And on that last exhale, setting your hips down, taking your feet, let's extend the legs out, but even wider than we did before. Keep the arms, the hands planted behind you, but turn your fingertips to point away from your feet and relax your legs, like jelly legs here. And then just kind of wobble the feet back and forth. Should feel pretty good. That small little movement, relaxing the hips, the low back. Excellent. Walk your hands in to sitting up tall. And then we're going to take the legs behind us. We're going to come to tabletop. So hands and knees. So we just get there as gracefully as we can. I don't have a special transition. Wish I did. Move that pillow off to the side. Unless you need a little extra comfort under the knees. And in that case, you can put your knees on your pillow. So hands are under your shoulders, knees under hips. Press into your palms, your finger pads, and take a little pelvic tilt here. Think about that pelvic tilt again. So that'll help you draw in your belly. And let's start with some cat-cows. So on your next exhale, arch your back as much as you can, like an angry cat. Tuck your chin under, tuck your tailbone under. And as you come to your inhale, it's just the opposite. Drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. Exhale, arch your back, push into the mat like you're pushing everything away. Top of the head aims towards the floor. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. One more time. Exhale, arch the back, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin under. Inhale, cow pose, drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. Now come somewhere right in between, like a neutral spine. Again, if you are experiencing any pelvic pain, a good idea is to think about that pelvic tilt. And then reach the left arm straight out front. Thumb points up, your biceps at your ear. And you can stay right here. This is a great place to stay. Or if you can, the right leg goes out behind you. Toes point down. Coming back to your breath, breathing into your belly. And then set your hand and your knee down. Let's try it on the other side. So starting with your arm, right arm reaches out front, thumb points up. And then left leg reaches out behind you. Toes point down. Coming back to your belly, breathing. And then setting your hand and your knee down. And if you're able, we'll take a down dog right here. So just tucking the toes under and lifting up and back. If down dog does not feel good for you, maybe a child's pose would be better, or even just staying in tabletop. If you are in down dog, You can pedal out your legs, bending one knee and then the other. From down dog, walk your hands back towards your feet, coming to forward fold at the back of your mat. Take your feet a little wider, maybe, to space for your belly. I like my feet at the edges of my mat. And then bend your knees so much that your hip coming all the way down towards your heels. You're coming to yogi squat. So the heel might actually peel up off the ground, and that's no problem at all. Arms are in between your knees, pushing your knees open. This is a great pose for pregnant mamas. Just letting that belly fill up that space in between your knees. Try to relax your shoulder back. And then taking your hands in front of you on the floor if they aren't already there, and lifting your tailbone high back to forward folds. And then walk your hands forward, find your down dog. When you're in down dog, you can pedal out your legs or you can just be still, whatever feels good. And then walk your hands to the back of your mat again. Forward fold. And sinking the hips down to yogi squat. If you feel a little more stable, you can certainly take elbows on the insides of your knees and have prayer hands right at your heart. For me right now, I just need my hands on the floor. So I'm more modifying if you want to stay with me or do what's right for you. Yoga is always about the personal journey. So it's not about pose a certain way. It's about what you're feeling in your body. Noticing that and honoring that. So wherever you are, take your hands on the floor out in front of you, lift your hips high, forward fold, and walk your hands back out, down dog. One more time here. Let's walk the hands back toward the feet for forward fold at the back of your mat. Sinking your hips low, finding that yogi spot. Whatever variation feels nice for you. And then hands out in front of you on the floor, lifting the hips high and walking the hands back out, down dog. And from here, bring your knees to the mat, nice and wide knees. Bring your big toe together, sink your hips back towards your heels, and release the child's pose. And right here in child's pose, let's take a big sigh. So inhale through your nose, and then open your mouth and just say, ah. Yeah, it's that exhale, just letting release all the tension and the worry. Maybe a little sway in the hips, trying to get comfortable here. Not everyone's comfortable in child's pose. We won't be here much longer. If you need a few more of those open mouth exhales, take those. Just letting go of your control of the process. You've been on a big, long journey to change. And I hope that it's been made positive for you. But even when it hasn't been, we have to be kindly and positively to each other and to ourselves. Telling yourself you're doing a good job. So let's just walk our hands back towards your body so that you can come up, and we're going to come to seated once again. And I'm going to pillow again, and I'm actually going to pull my pillow up against the wall so that I can rest my back on the wall. Just like fully relaxing, not striving towards anything. And so if you'd like to do the same thing or sit in a chair, whatever, just in a really, really comfortable place. Just for a few more minutes, breathing with your eyes closed if you're able, if time is not an issue for you right now. So if you're leaned back against something, just try to relax your shoulders. Take your hands onto your belly and just focus on your breath. We breathe, take breaths thousands of times a day. And your baby loves it when your breath is really intentional. You might even start to feel them move or kick, or maybe hiccuping. And if you are, let your mind just settle on that. Just focus on those feelings. You are worthy of this baby. You are worthy of motherhood. You are equipped. And you are full of love. And take a moment here to thank whoever you need to, that you made it to your mat today to take care of yourself for a few moments. And I'm so grateful that you today. Thank you so much for being here. The season honors the light in you. Namaste.